Hello folks, this is Carls, your friendly neighborhood violin teacher. Today we're going to learn a piece called Song of the Wind. I don't know why it's called that. The words we all use in English don't have anything to do with wind, and the words we use in German, as far as I know, don't have anything to do with it. Anyway, I don't know why it's called that. Here is what it works. The piece has a repeat, so I'm going to play the whole thing once, and then I'm going to repeat it, so I'm going to play the whole thing again. Okay, so that's the whole piece. There are basically three things to look at here. First of them, and your assignment should have music to this as well, so you can see how it's put together. There are two tricky parts here. One of them has to do with your left hand, your violin hand. So there's this part here in the song that goes like this. And in the video, it's not as clear, so we'll do it a little closer here. Your finger is actually quite busy. My first finger is down. If you notice here, as I play it, my third finger lands on the A string, and then it has to hop over to the E string, and then back. So I'll do it super slowly again. So first finger hops over to the E string, and then back. So how that works here is, let's actually practice it using a different rhythm. Let's use the peanut butter sandwich rhythm, it's easier. So keep your first finger down and heavy. Don't crush it, just a heavy first finger. Now this is the tricky part, while your first finger is down, your third finger is going to go to the A string. And then take your bow to the A string. Take your bow to the A string. Now your first finger is still going to be down, and you're going to pick up your third and move it over to the E string. And then take your bow to the E string. So you take your bow to the E string. Then release your third finger and go back to your first finger. Again, we're going to try that again. So first finger, third finger on the A string. Remember, your first finger has to stay down while this is happening. And then hop over to the E string, and then release again. So, what a lot of folks like to, and actually the part where you hop your third finger is actually it's actually written down in the music that you have, when to do it as well. But what a lot of students like to do when they're learning this is, instead of picking up their third finger and putting it down like this, they just kind of mush it over. That's what a lot of folks like to do. So don't do that. One, it looks really ugly, but two, it's going to be out of tune, and three, it's going to slow you down for when you have other stuff. Hopping fingers is something that violinists have to do pretty often, actually. Not like in every single song they ever have to play, but it happens quite a bit. So you want to know how to do it. So yeah, this looks ugly. It's out of tune. Oh, and of course, also long term, this will really, really hurt your third finger. We don't want to do that as well. So hop your third finger. Don't mush your third finger. The next thing you may have noticed in this piece is I pick up my bow and I set it back down, so I get the angle right here. I pick up my bow and I set it back down again. This is called, different teachers have different names. I've heard of it called a bow circle, which is not a bad name. I don't use that name, but that's not a bad name. I've heard teachers call them lifts, like you lift your bow, a bow lift. In orchestras, they usually call them they call them lifts or orchestra, In professional orchestras, they usually call them retakes or lifts. I've heard retakes, I think, more often. But the word that I use, which is none of those, is called a bow retrieval. And I like that too because a retrieval, like a Labrador retriever, like you throw something and you go get it. So I like the idea of you use your bow and then you retrieve it so you can use it again the same way. So I call them bow retrievals. You might hear bow circle, lift, bow retake, or bow retrieval. It doesn't matter as long as you know what you're talking about. It doesn't matter what you call it, but I'm going to call them bow retrievals. So the way you do it is you do it down bow, and when you get to the upper tape, hopefully which you have something like that, don't use all of your bow for a bow retrieval, but use like the middle part of your bow. Just pick up your bow and put it back where you started. Make sure you put it back. Don't go like all crazy when you do it. Just make the shape that your bow is going to make. It's hard to see from this angle. The shape that your bow is going to make is it'll be a circle if the piece is very slow, but usually it's more like an egg. It's like an oval shape. And the idea is you don't want them to be super big. Kind of like that. So when you put these two chunks together, you have something like this. You have the finger hop part and a bow retrieval, and then it happens again. Just like that. And those are notated in the music. You also have this little sort of, it looks kind of like an @ symbol for an email address, or for, I guess, a Twitter handle. It's a little A in a shell, a little circle A, and that symbol in the music, in the music means bow retrieval. And it says that in the music. It says this thing means bow retrieval. So everything I've mentioned here now is notated somewhere in the music, so you don't have to worry about that, about wondering what it means. The last thing, which is how I actually started, is that this piece has a repeat. So once you can play the whole piece, just play it again. I don't expect you to learn everything right away here. The big chunks are finger hopping, which you can get good at just on its own. You don't have to play the whole song in order to be able to do that. And then bow retrievals as well. Bow retrievals happen all the time. I said in this video that finger hopping happens a lot, and it does, but bow retrievals happen like way more often. So you want to be sure you're really good at bow retrievals. I'll play the whole piece one more time, and so you can see how it all fits together again. There you go.